Okay, folks, Andrew Bopros here. Well, I want to do a video just recapping the Chargers-Rams game. I know we talked about it on our live a lot yesterday. If you have not checked it out, please check it out. It's actually I think it's a very good little live episode. I mean, if I do say so myself. But at the end of the day, a lot to break down as far as this Chargers-Rams scrimmage or joint practice, as they like to call it. A lot of people are getting kind of all over the place about how awesome the defense did and how we don't really know much about the offense. Go and check out that video that the Chargers broke down. It actually shows quite a bit, but I'm going to talk about the offense and the defense and what we learned. There's a lot we can break down on this. It should be a good short video, guys, not too long, but I think it'll be fun for you guys. So guys, let's get into it.
Bull Bros!
Okay, folks, as always, like and subscribe if you do enjoy the content. I'm Andrew Bopros, and leave a comment down for the algorithm. Smash that like button. And again, guys, at the end of the day, we can say some good things about that scrimmage. I think it was a lot of good things on both ends, right? And I know both coaches seemed to really enjoy what they saw. They were happy. Sean McVay, I think, was a little more frustrated. Their offense was actually they struggled quite a lot, right? But we answered a lot of good questions, right? I mean, the defensive line for the Chargers looked great. I mean, these guys played excellent. And they batted a lot of balls down. They were very aggressive. They got to the quarterback. They looked good. You know, Bosa was killing it, had some undisclosed injury, which is extremely frustrating. Puka Nacua from the Rams also got injured. So, you know, it's frustrating, right? You know, that injuries are occurring. But at the end of the day, iron sharpens iron. That's the whole point of, the Harbaugh physicality type of offense and defense. And we saw that on both sides of the ball, really. And the defense, of course, was winning. And they came out, they played hard. They wanted to win, and they did, right? So, it's exciting to see. I think you're going to see a very physical team moving forward. And guys, it's just really an exciting time. So let's get into some of the notes and see, specifically what happened. Obviously, I want to say this first, right? Sean McVay is an extremely amazing head coach, probably one of the youngest, brightest minds in the NFL. And he's with Jim Harbaugh, probably one of the, most old school, head coaches possible. Still the fifth winningest head coach in the NFL. So it is interesting to see those two type of philosophies out there. I still think it's funny that, Harbaugh's got the cleats out there as well. And he's rocking them. And, anyways, it's just that picture. I think is just it says a lot. It says a lot about, where the league is, where the league's going, old school versus new school type of thing. And it's pretty interesting. And I will say this, I do think that the Rams played a little conservatively. I think the Chargers also played pretty conservatively on both sides of the ball as well. Talk a little bit more about that in a second. But, clearly the Rams, when they came out, they weren't in the physical mindset. They were like, all right, let's play two-hand touch. And again, they weren't tackling people to the ground. It wasn't, as physical as, we're expecting a normal game to be. We're not trying to get people hurt, right? We don't want season-ending injuries, right? Little bumps and bruises, if anything, right? But it is interesting to see how, they just kind of didn't play as physical as the Chargers did for sure. I thought this was a cool photo as well, too. You got Jerry Rice and Brendan Rice there as well. It's really cool to see Jerry Rice out there. I mean, it's awesome. It's great to see, such a GOAT out here in the Charge facility. And I have to say this, Brendan Rice has looked absolutely fantastic, and the thing that I like about him compared to some of the other wide receivers we have, Quentin Johnston, is that he seems to be able to do it all, right? Quentin, it's interesting. I was kind of watching some of the drills with him, and I'm going to do a little short on this. His footwork is a little sloppy at times, and you can't be that way in the NFL because it obviously tells people what you're doing, what you're running, and you're not taking the routes seriously. And this is where, Brendan Rice has actually really done a good job and looked very good so far in preseason. I think he will most likely make the squad. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below. So let's get into it a little bit more. Let's talk about Greg Roman. Greg Roman was pretty interesting in the way he talked about things. And, really his whole conversation was, actually, I thought it was really interesting that it wasn't about a game plan. Okay. It was nothing about game plan or scoring points. It was about, I want to call this play because I want to see how physical my offensive line is going to be, or my tight ends, or my running backs. What are they going to do? How are they going to manage this play? So I thought that was really interesting, because again, it's not a real game, right? But at the end of the day, they were just like, no, I want to know how we run, halfback dive right, halfback dive left, fullback lead right, fullback lead left, whatever, right? And so it was very different for them They were just trying to see how we executed certain plays. That's all he cared about. It did not care about the score, did not care about anything else. And again, you're not tackling people hard, right? Well, you should be at least. But again, it was very good. And it was interesting. Greg Roman did say hats off to the Rams. Did a lot of good work that day. Different opponent, different style. Very valuable for us. And again, that's the whole point, right? How do we work against other competition? It's one thing even that Derwin James said. I'll talk a little bit more about him in a second when I talk about the defense. But it's good to see a new, fresh face out there as well. And also the Rams were very jealous of how awesome the Bolt is. They're in some really, kind of janky facility like the Chargers were in as well. So they were pretty jealous about how awesome the Bolt is and everything like that. So I thought it was pretty interesting. Anyways, they seem very jealous of how awesome the Bolt is. We all know who has been out there. It's absolutely an incredible facility. But anyways, and I think one thing that Roman also said, he said, seeing is believing too. You truly never understand until you see live game action, right? As a game manager, you're trying to think, okay, how are we going to play this play, right? How are we going to move the line, right? But we had to go out and actually execute and actually do it today. So it was good for our coaching staff to see how we played against real live bodies. And then it can help us, get an identity moving forward into week 1, into the preseason and moving forward. But again, let me make this very clear, guys. Greg Roman was very clear in his press conference. He kept things very basic. He was just trying to find out technique, understanding how people run routes, and keeping it very simple. And guys, Easton Stick looked great. Max Dugan looked really good from what I can tell. And so, you can't complain about what's going on. And a lot of people, I'm going to say one last thing before I move on to the defense. I'm going to wrap up the video that, I know, we're all stressed out about Justin Herbert being out, but Easton Stick can run this offense. He runs, he does a lot of really nice things. He's an absolute gamer. He's one of the winningest quarterbacks in the NFL or college football history, right? So he can do it and he will thrive within this system. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. You can leave a comment, agree or disagree with me. But again, bottom line, kept it very simple. It was nice to see full speed reps and see technique. And that's really what Greg Roman and this offense wanted to see. Now they're going to go back and look at it. Who did what, who did well, what they need to improve on. And they're going to learn from that footage, right? So I think it's pretty interesting, really interesting game plan. And again, it's not about winning. It's about understanding technique and what they did. So take that with a grain of salt with the amount of picks and turnovers that we got against the Rams. They were probably trying to do the same thing, right? They weren't trying to open up the playbook. They're kind of trying to get their baseline stuff out there for the most part. Jesse Minter, the defense was absolutely the star of the game for sure, right? The scrimmage did a great job, got a lot of turnovers. I'm going to be posting a number of the interceptions that were recorded. But again, guys, at the end of the day, the defense looks great, and I kept wondering like, okay, well, how good is our defense compared to our offense? Well, I will say this. And this is very common, guys. Early on is the defense is usually better than the offense, right? Just because the defense is quite simple. The cool thing about Jesse Minter also is he keeps the defense very easy and very simple to understand. As we know, our Brandon Staley over there, he had his whole, pattern match zone defense, which like nobody knows what the hell that even means, right? So, but Jesse is going back to very basic football, letting these guys play free and doing a great job. Also, the defensive line got their hands up and batted a bunch of balls up in the air. It was absolutely incredible to see. I think it was 6 turnovers. So I think it was 3 interceptions and 3 fumbles, something of that nature, or maybe 5 turnovers, something of that nature. But guys, it was great, and ultimately, guys, the Chargers looked good and it's good reps. And then Jesse Minter, go back and watch what he said. He talked a lot about how really he wants to disguise what he's doing, right? He's going to rush 5 most of the time. But you're never going to know where that 5th man's going to come from. You're going to be up in the line. People are going to drop back. They're going to play physical at the line. They're going to do a lot of bump and run. It's going to be really interesting. So anyways, I wanted to give my final thoughts on that. Bottom line, the scrimmage is a scrimmage, right? It is what it is. It's not exactly, game footage, right? They're not tackling people to the ground, but it shows a precedent to what Harbaugh wants to do. Physical defense. Execute correctly. Get your technique down. Focus on the little things and good things happen. So at the end of the day, guys, it's great. It's great to see. I really want to know what your thoughts are. Again, I didn't really think I needed to do this video, but I thought, you know what? I had some things I wanted to say. Hopefully you found something of use or value, and so you can like and subscribe and leave a comment down below. Please let us know what you think about this video. As always, Andrew Bolt Bros. See you guys in the next one.